Hi, my first grade friends. Happy Wednesday. Now, I know this is a little weird. Wednesdays, normally we see each other from the start to the end of the day, and you don't have any asynchronous work. You only have your homework. Well, school's changed a little bit. Now on Wednesdays, of course, we'll still have our entire class together and we'll do morning meetings, CPT, math, and reading. But we're also going to be ending the school day a little early. That way you can have recess on your own or you joined me for our friendship group or game, and you get a lunch break a little earlier in the day. Now, social studies and science on Wednesdays is going to be a video with a little activity for you to do. You can do it right after class when I say goodbye to you and after recess, or you can eat a snack, eat a lunch, and then do it later. But you have the entire day after school not only to do your homework, but to do our social studies or science lesson. It's Apple Week, as you all know. So for Apple Week, we are going to be doing today the parts of an apple. You've already learned the importance of apples in our world, and you're talking about this week the life cycle of an apple, and you're going to be learning about, how you can define an apple and its all special parts. Well, today I'm going to tell you each and every part of an apple, and you'll have a little homework assignment to show me that you've learned it as well. Let's get started and look at exactly what's going on inside that fruit. Okay, my friends, let's get started learning about the parts of an apple. Now, you've already voted on what your favorite apple is, but I wanted to make the red apple the background just because it's so pretty. It's so fall related, right? Here I have a cartoon apple, but we'll be looking at real pictures of apples. Do you already know some of the parts of an apple? If you do, which parts do you know? Go ahead, you can take your reading buddy, your phonics friend, your math friend. I have Broccolo here with me today, and you can whisper to them the parts you already know. I didn't know. Did you? Did you think of any of the parts that you know? Well, there's the parts of the apple that we eat, and there's the parts of the apple that we do not eat. And we'll talk about that as well. And today on your homework, you'll have to let me know just exactly what those parts are. Let's get started. So the parts of the apple, this is if you cut an apple in half, and this is what you would see. I have things pointing to different parts of the apple, and then they have their name there. This is called a diagram. A diagram shows you the picture of something, and it has things pointing to different parts of it. Well, here I have the word stem. The stem word is pointing to this little brown part of the apple, the part that you pluck off and sometimes it's still in the apple when it was attached to the tree. The stem is that little tiny branch that's connecting the apple to the actual tree branch. And it's kind of like a straw. It's feeding it in all the water and the nutrients it needs to grow to be a big apple so that you and I can eat it and it tastes good. Then, of course, we have leaves. Leaves. Here, I think we all know what a leaf looks like. And this leaf is what was keeping that apple attached to the tree. Now, you don't need the apple leaves, so make sure that when it comes to an apple, you're plucking off that red, yellow, or green juicy part, and the stems and the leaves, we can either cut those off, pluck them out, or leave them attached to the tree, okay? We definitely don't want to eat the stem and the leaves of our apples. But when it comes to the actual fruit of the apple, there's three very important parts that I'm sure you've probably either eaten or have stopped yourself from eating when you saw them or you felt them in your mouth. Let's start on the outside part of the apple. On the outside, we have the skin. On the inside, we have the flesh. And then deep in the very middle, we have the seeds. I have some pictures, so I'll show you each of these parts. Let's start with the stem and the leaves. Now, I circled here on these pictures the stems, and you can see how they're little tiny branches with a round top. That round top is just keeping it nice and tight on the branch there. And then, just like a straw, any of the important nutrients, which is food, or water that the tree sucks up, it sends down through the branch like a little straw into this apple. Right now it's a little green, but you can see the more nutrients it gets, the more red it becomes. And the leaves are there to help suck in any more food or nutrients that they can from the sun. Remember, we're not eating those stems and leaves. Then we have the outside and the inside of our apple, the skin and the flesh. Some of you probably ask your parents to peel off the skin of the apple because maybe you don't like how tough it is or maybe it gets stuck inside your teeth. I'm not a big fan of apple skin, but sometimes it's nice to have a little crisp. The skin, just like our skin, is on the outside and it's protecting that mushy inside, which we call the flesh of the apple. It's protecting that mushy inside so that it stays nice and juicy and so that bugs don't get in it or the sun doesn't cause it to rot. You definitely can eat the skin and the flesh of an apple, and those parts are what we use both to eat and in baking. Lastly, we have the inside of the apple. Did you know the inside of an apple is called the core? That's the very middle of it, and it's kind of what's keeping the whole apple together. Here's a picture of an apple, and when you eat it, you leave the core. A lot of people stay away from that core because inside it, being protected, are the apple seeds. Those seeds are what you drop or you spit out, and those help grow more apple trees. So the fruit is trying to protect the seeds with all of its flesh and skin so that when it falls into the ground, the seeds will be protected and they can eventually grow into another tree. We don't eat them because they can make us sick if we eat too many of them. So if I were you, I would spit those out into the ground or into your trash can. My friends, those are the parts of the apple. If you are eating them, make sure to remember that you do not eat the leaves and the stem, and you do not eat the seeds. Today, for your homework, I want you to think about the parts of an apple. You're going to go into our classroom, and you'll see in today's assignment, I not only told you your math homework, but there's a little slide here for you, the parts of an apple. Fun. Just like mine, you have that cut in half apple that you can look at. And you're going to have to drag, D-R-A-G, drag the names or the labels of them and put them to the right spot. You have the skin, the seeds, the leaves, and once this thing gets out of the way, the flesh and the stem. I want you to move those and have them point to the parts of the apple to show me that if you picked up an apple on the floor or maybe you cut it in half, you'd be able to tell just exactly what you're looking at. And I also have two little ovals here, just like I did on mine, asking you which parts of an apple are not okay to eat. I want you to drag the circles, the ovals, to the right parts of our fruit here. Is it the flesh, the skin, the leaves, the seeds, the stem? You let me know in today's homework. Don't forget to hand in or submit or turn in today's homework. So obviously I'm on the teacher's account, so you can always ask an adult because you might not be able to see it. But when in doubt, click that yellow and blue button that says turn in assignment. That way I can get your homework. Well, my friends, I know it's a little weird to be having some of your Wednesday schools online without me, but I appreciate you being flexible, which means you are easy to move around, just like if you were doing yoga or shaking out your limbs when we're stretching. Thank you for being flexible. I can't wait to see just how you do at labeling those apples. And I'll see you tomorrow, either all day in the morning or in the afternoon. Have a wonderful day, my friends. Bye.